Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
A magic beyond anything you could ever imagine.
You are now listening to the Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Sagrera Farms on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Locking down the middle of the day.
You really think that's the best idea?
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
It's quite a piece of work.
Hour number 2. Hunt Palmer Show here on a Thursday, brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. We'll talk some Tigers coming up here in 15 minutes. Kind of on a sad note, today's SEC Network takeover is a little bit depressing. We'll talk about it 15 minutes from now. What could be depressing or really exciting, depending on which side of things go, is the MLB draft coming up this weekend in Philadelphia. Jay Johnson and his team kind of pillaged last year from a freshman perspective by the Major League Baseball draft. They kind of tried to insulate themselves from that this year with a bulk signing class. It's going to get picked off at some point, but hopefully enough talent lands here in Baton Rouge for the Tigers to bounce back. Covering it for Overslot, where he is the founder and the host, is Joe Doyle on Twitter at Joe Doyle, MILB. He's on the Gems Firearms Hotline and joins us now. Joe, thanks for the time. How are you?
What's going on, guys? Good to hear from you.
It's great to hear from you. I know you're busy, so appreciate a little bit of time. Let's just kind of dive into it. Like, I know there are some guys in this class at LSU is simply not going to get to campus. Logan Smith's throwing 98 from the left side. Like, we'll bypass some of that. I'm more interested in some of the fringe guys, so let's kind of dive in there. And Jensen Hirschkorn, maybe not. He's a 6'7" right-hander that throws a billion. But LSU seems to think there's a chance he can get to campus. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think as we've gotten closer and closer to the draft, I think the odds of Jensen Hirschkorn getting to campus have continued to rise. He was a name that was very, very buzzy last summer and into the fall and into the spring. But his velocity was just okay for the spring. It wasn't what we saw much of last summer. So I don't think Jensen, with his 6'7" frame, really took that next step that a lot of scouts were looking for, which could fortuitously end up in LSU's favor. So I still think odds are better than not that Hirschkorn, I'd say a 60-40 chance that he goes pro, but yeah. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that he ends up in Baton Rouge. Would
be an interesting prospect to get here for sure. Those folks that were looking on Twitter during the MLB scouting combine, they saw Dominic Santorelli hitting the ball really far with a wooden bat. What can you tell us about the left-handed hitter and whether or not he might be in LSU's lineup moving forward?
I've never seen a player look like that in high school. I've been following this kid since he was a sophomore in high school. He looks like Brian Urlacher with a baseball bat. It's unbelievable. I think it's probably a bit of a coin toss with Santorelli, as I understand it. He does have a pretty sizable signing bonus request to pull him away from LSU. And here's the thing, man. Like, scouts see that frame, they see that power, and they say, maybe we just throw caution to the wind. Maybe we just throw a bunch of our signing bonus at this kid because guys like this just don't come along, and the ceiling could be a guy that hits 40 home runs and, is one of the better slugging outfielders in the sport. I think if you were to ask me today, I think there is a kind of like Hirschkorn. I think it's like a 66-33 split. I think he goes pro, but it's certainly not out of the question.
The next two guys we're going to talk about pitch and hit. Will Adams is the first. He's from Hoover, Alabama. What do you know about him? I was told that he would absolutely get a chance to be a two-way player at LSU. I don't know what his professional prospects are, but what are your thoughts there?
Will Adams is very interesting. On the mound, I believe he's up to 92 from the left side, which is a lot harder to find than you think. He played center field and right field for his high school team this year, so I think the first base designation that a lot of people want to place on him right away just because he did it on the showcase and tournament circuit last summer is a little bit misguided. It's a little bit narrow-sided, if you will. I think he's got a chance to play in a corner, but this is a bat. Like what you're talking about a bat. You're talking about one of the better hitters in the country. It's left-handed, it's size, it's bat-to-ball skills, it's pitch selection. The strength in his frame suggests that he's going to hit for power. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a center fielder by any stretch, but especially with the dimensions of the box, you could put him in left field, you could put him in right field, and I think you'd survive just fine. So unfortunately, I think Will Adams is a pretty surefire bet to go pro, but if he does make it to Baton Rouge, he's one of those guys like Mason Braun who could carve out a role right away.
Joe Doyle is our guest. You can check out his work all draft weekend long and leading up to it at the end of this week at overslotbaseball.com. He's the founder and host over there. He's on Twitter at Joe Doyle, MILB. The other two-way player that Jay Johnson's trying to lure here is Lucas Noraki, who's another left-handed hitter and a left-handed pitcher. What can you tell us?
Yeah, people slept on the bat way too long. I mean, there were teams trying to hide Lucas Noraki up until the end of April, even May. There were teams at the MLB Draft Scouting Combine who saw him as a hitter, as an outfielder for the first time. Now, in LSU's favor, Naraki decided not to run. He decided not to do outfield drills and instead just kind of manned the first base pillow. But I think he's a legitimate outfield prospect. He reminds me of Cole Calhoun, who played in the league for 10, 12 years. He can really hit. There's some power there, and I think he's a better athlete than people give him credit for. Oh, yeah, and he also spins a 3,300 RPM slider and is up to 96 from the left side. So if he makes it to campus, which, again, I think is less likely than not, if he makes it to campus, this is an immediate eighth-inning leverage bullpen arm that can be developed into something pretty special.
Is the hope for LSU there that, hey, he's like 5'11", maybe 6 feet tall? That's where the projectability kind of stops. Like, is that because you always have to try to find, unfortunately, from our perspective, the quote unquote flaw. It's either Bregman broke his hand or Curiel's skinny. Is Naraki's height potentially what could put him at campus?
You know, I think if it was being evaluated as a pitcher, yes. There's not a lot of teams that are going to line up in the draft to sign a player away from LSU who projects into a relief role.
Right.
That's just not something that ordinarily happens. But I think there's enough teams that have him turned in as an outfielder at this point that, you know, the size kind of be damned. If you can hit, you can hit. If you've got bat speed, you've got bat speed. And if you can play the field a little bit, doesn't matter how big you are. And that's kind of why I bring up the Cole Calhoun comp. Cole Calhoun was an excellent player for a very, very long time, and I think he's 5'9". So I think I see Naraki in a similar blend.
This is one guy that I'll ask you about on the infield because LSU is in desperate need of infielders. It's Parker Lowe, who's not the biggest. He's a right-handed hitter, which Jay's gotten so many left-handed hitters committed, and he can't seem to get them to campus on the infield. Pro prospects like that. I think LSU could really use him in the program for a couple of years on the infield, specifically at shortstop. What do you know about Parker Lowe?
Yeah, so let me just start off by saying Parker Lowe is one of my favorite people in this class. I've gotten to know him over the course of the last 16 months. He is humble, he is hardworking, and he's thorough with how he tries to improve his game. He's gone through a massive swing change over the course of the last 9 months, and it's really begun to show dividends in his bat-to-ball skills. But Parker Lowe is a surefire power hitter. It's power over hit, it's big bat speed, it's over-the-fence feel. I don't think he's ultimately going to play second base or shortstop in the SEC, but if he can keep his athleticism with the strength gains that can continue to come along, I think he's got a chance to play third base. And if you've got a third baseman in the SEC that can hit 265 and hit you, like 16 to 18 home runs as a sophomore and a junior, you're going to be really positioned well to score a lot of runs. So I just want to reinforce that Parker Lowe, one of the easiest kids in the LSU class to root for.
What's your gut tell you on where he is projectably if he does get drafted?
I don't think he's going to get drafted. All due respect to Parker Lowe, I think there's a lot to like with him, but I think he is the type of clay. He's the type of foundation that needs to be developed. And because of that, let him go to the SEC, let him prove it for 2 or 3 years, and then let's revisit this in 3 years from now. But I think he'd be walking away from a lot of money if he decided to sign for less than 7 figures in 2026.
And look, LSU's got Dawson Park, Stephen Milam, Cade Curlin on the infield projected next season, and all three of those guys are going to be gone after that year. So playing time opens up really quickly in his second season here. All right, a couple of high school right-handed pitchers. LSU's obviously in need of pitching. That was not very good this past year. Colby Stringer, we know, was a late riser in the state of Mississippi. What are you hearing?
So I think Colby Stringer is going to get to LSU, and the reason being is it's a relief profile, at least coming out of high school. We call it a supernator profile. He doesn't have an arm path. He doesn't have a mix right now that includes a changeup, and so there's real risk that you're talking about a guy that's only ever going to be a fastball cutter curveball type player. Velocity's been all over the place this spring. He's been 91 to 93 some nights. He's been up to 96 other nights. And he is a true hidden gem. I mean, this guy was off the radar of pro scouts for much of the spring. So gut tells me that he's going to end up at school, and I think it would take a fairly prohibitive number for him to actually sign, which I don't think is going to be out there for him. And then Colton Brady is one of the more interesting ones in this class because it's 17 and a half years old. So with that sort of age, you think you get him to campus, you get him to LSU, you're draft eligible again in 2029 as a 20 and a half year old with more leverage to come after that. So my gut tells me Colton Brady is going to end up on campus. He's going to light up models for his age, but I still think there's some polish and refinement and physical gains that need to happen in Colton Brady's game before he can achieve that, $2.5 million bonus that he could command in 2029.
Joe, I really appreciate you giving us a little bit of time. Tell everybody where they can find your work. I know LSU fans are chomping at the bit for draft content right now.
Sure, yeah. Twitter, it's Joe Doyle, MILB, and you can find, for my money, the deepest dives analytically, scouting-wise, in the sport right now at overslotbaseball.com. I'm proud of it.
It's really awesome stuff. We appreciate your work. We appreciate a little bit of time. Try to get some sleep over the next few days, all right?
No, I don't think it's possible, but I'll try.
He is Joe Doyle with the Overslot at Joe Doyle, MILB. That was pretty encouraging, y'all. Look, he said that Santorelli's got a pretty good chance to make it. Y'all would love his profile. He is just that power left-handed hitting first baseman bat that you would love to see. Parker Lowe, I just love in this class. I like his infield action, and obviously he's talking about the power tool that he's got. And he did not have a great spring with the bat. He hit a little bit over 300 for a high school player, which is awful when you consider draftable. Those guys hit 520 a lot. But that comes with a mechanical fix, and so that would be great for LSU to get in. They just have not gotten infielders at the rate they need to, and they're going to lose all their infielders this year, aside from Jack Ruckert. So they've got to get some guys there. Lowe is the guy that I've targeted. If you could get Stringer and Colton Brady, that's a group that I told y'all yesterday. There's 6 of them. If you could get 3, I think that'd be great. So a lot of that was encouraging. He didn't sound so optimistic that Will Adams would get here. He'd be a two-way player, a left-handed pitcher at about 92, 93, and a really good left-handed hitter. But you're going to lose some guys. That's just, you go into this knowing you're going to lose some guys. You can't dodge the entire thing. And it's just a matter of how many they pick off over time. So we'll be covering it all weekend long at LouisianaSports.net, and I recommend you go check out Joe's stuff at Overslot. It's awesome. We appreciate some time from him. Thursday show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. We'll step aside. When we come back, let's talk about the year that was, or really wasn't, next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, swingeasygcbr.com, swingeasygcbr.com. It's hot out there, y'all. If you want to play some golf, work on your game. It's just tough to go out there right after work at like 4:40 when it's 98 and completely humid. And a lot of times at 4:45 it starts raining around here, right? So if you want to do it and you don't want to deal with the elements, why don't you just go to Swing Easy Golf Club in the air conditioning, hit some shots on the simulator. You can play Pebble Beach. You can work on the driving range. You can hit drivers. You can tee it up, the standard tee. You can hit wedge shots. I hit 600 shots on one hole at Pebble Beach. But if you want to work on your game in the heat of the summer when it's raining a lot, you don't have a great place to do that, or you want to do it at lunch and not get wringing wet with sweat, you can do it at Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. They're online at swingeasygcbr.com, but go by and see them. They're on Segan at Perkins. Just walk on in. The desk is to the left. You can grab a beer out of the fridge right there. Go find your private bay and get to work at Swing Easy Golf Club, Segan at Perkins, swingeasygcbr.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
The Highland Insurance Group brings the Hunt Palmer Show every single day. They're online at highlandig.com. That's highlandig.com. Jonathan Carver and his team, they're just pros. They know what they're doing over at the Howard Insurance Group. I spent 7 years in insurance. Y'all know this. Spent a lot of time around insurance people. Not everybody knows what they're doing in insurance. And sometimes people are just trying to win on price. And price is obviously very, very important. We know that. They know that at the Howard Insurance Group. But if you buy something at the lowest price and then all of a sudden you've got a cyber attack, or you've got a bad car accident, or you've got a hurricane, and then you look at that policy that was the most inexpensive, the most cost effective, and you're not covered for what you think you should be covered for. And now you're paying premium on the front end and the uncovered claim on the back end. That's what they protect you from at the Howard Insurance Group. So if you're a business owner and you're looking for protection from your insurance that you pay significant money for, the Howard Insurance Group is where you need to be. Let them audit your policies. Let them look at where the deficiencies might be. They've got experts that are there to do that. They read them all day long. And if they find something, they'll notify you of it, and they'll fix it. It's the Howard Insurance Group. They're here in Baton Rouge. They can help you out statewide. You can find them online at highlandig.com. All right, y'all may not be aware of this if you've been at work or been out on the town or doing anything else with your life other than watching TV. The SEC Network has schools take over the channel during the doldrums of the summer. And for 24 hours, they play nothing but that school's highlights of the year. And we're all aware that this is the first time that LSU has had losing conference records in football, men's basketball, and baseball since the 60s. So was it a great year? Now, Jay Clark's team had a really good year in the gym. Kim Mulkey's team had a pretty damn good year on the hardwood. It was an excellent year for the golf team on the men's and women's side. Tennis was better than they have been in a long time. So it's not as if all the sports flopped, but the headlining sports did not have great years. So I was curious as I looked at the SEC Network's schedule for today that was highlighting LSU's 2025-2026 school year. Like, what are they showing us? The football was played at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's midnight to midnight. They put the football game at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was the Arkansas game. I don't even remember what happened in the Arkansas game.
Well, the Arkansas game, in fairness, probably should have kicked off at 2 a.m.
It probably
season,
should have. I'd be on the air at midnight if that was the case.
Sucked. Wasn't it like 17-10 or something?
Oh, yeah. It was real bad. The LSU scored late. Oh, yeah. I know the play. I think Van Buren rolled out to his right and either threw a touchdown or ran it.
No, he threw a touchdown.
It, but he rolled out to his right to win the game. It was a comeback win against an atrocious Arkansas team that fired its coach. They played that at 2 a.m., and they did put some football in primetime as well. The Lane Kiffin press conference made the 24-hour time slate. Whew, not great. What about men's basketball? Not a lot to pick from on the hardwood for the men's basketball. At 10 o'clock in the morning, they put on the LSU Ole Miss game, which was one of the conference games LSU won. I wrote the story for LouisianaSports.net. Couldn't tell you anything about it. I didn't even know that. I did not even remember they beat Ole Miss.
This is sad, man. I'm really more, I guess, it's the time slots. Yeah, we're going to just throw this at 10 a.m. So nobody, just put it at 10 a.m.
But that's the thing. The prime time is the Will Wade introductory press conference and the Lane Kiffin introductory press conference.
That's the highest.
They could not find game highlights to put in prime time. So they put two press conferences where Lane Kiffin sits there and talks about it's just different and the alignment and fit between him and the governor and the athletic director.
I'm a little disappointed that the Western Kentucky game didn't make the cut with my boy. Free my boy BK. You know why?
Wow, Kenzel on senior night. That would have been one of the highlights.
They could have at least done Easter Sunday, 13 innings against Tennessee.
That's the miss on baseball.
Well, because that also takes up a lot of time.
It does.
It's almost two
you
games.
can take up 4 hours with that if you wanted to.
That's the play.
The baseball game they put on, which is depressing on my end, 2 p.m., they threw on the SEC tournament opener between LSU and Oklahoma. I'm assuming they did that because Oklahoma won the national championship and LSU beat them. If you're going to show an LSU-Oklahoma game, put the Case and Evans game on. He struck out 14 guys. That's a better performance than whatever the SEC tournament was. I think it was at I don't remember that game either. I remember I remember what I said pregame for that game on this show. I was like, I think LSU will win. Oklahoma's not very good, so I think they'll go out there and beat them. And LSU did, because I didn't think Oklahoma was very good, and then Oklahoma won 100 games in a row.
Which was crazy still.
Hunt,
yes.
I forgot about this Arkansas game. So it was 23-22.
It was terrible.
So a little bit higher. LSU did not win on that touchdown pass. Van Buren threw that touchdown with 6.5 minutes to go.
Did we have to go kick a field goal or something?
Arkansas got the ball, and your kicker now, Scott Starzik, missed a 48-yard field goal, and that's what did it.
Heavens, I don't like.
And LSU ran out the last 5 minutes.
I've noticed this in my age. It's not like some of you might not remember that because you were 100 drinks in watching LSU play Arkansas. I'm in the press box. I did the post-game show. I wrote a column. I covered this game.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember it. Like when I was 24, you could give me a year and an opponent, and I could tell you 5 things about that game. And at this point, the last 8 years are just crumpled up into a ball and chucked away. I remember the highlights of the highs, but what LSU did against Arkansas, I can't remember that.
You know what it is, Hunt? It's too much Bluey.
Too much Bluey, too much Blippy, too much Firebuds, too much Miss Rachel. There's a lot of that going on.
Too much.
But I mean, what else is on this slate? Women's basketball against Texas, heck of a performance in the PMAC for them to win that game. Gymnastics against Alabama, I can't tell you anything about it, but I know that I know Bama's got a great program. Women's basketball against Texas Tech in the NCAA tournament, that's a good one. Softball, they shoved at midnight on the front end and 10 p.m. on the back end. Softball beating Auburn, which who knows what that was about. And then you've got the Virginia Tech NCAA tournament regional victory, which was they played great in the regional. I remember that. But this is the saddest slate of LSU highlights I've ever seen.
No, it's up there.
I've talked about this. I generally in August host the Baton Rouge Alumni Association chapter meeting that kicks off the year. And I interview a lot of coaches, and almost every year I do that, they send me a coach that just won a national championship. I've done Jay Johnson. I've talked to Kim Mulkey. We've had Jay Clark. Like, there's usually a national championship coach. It just didn't happen this year. It just wasn't in the cards. Gymnastics had a great go. Like, they were right in the thick of it, and they could have won it. It's just a razor's margin when you get to that level. And then some of the other sports had really nice years. But man, with the headliners, like, we knew this. I'm not breaking any news here, but this is a bleak scene when I'm looking at LSU Arkansas as the only football game they could find to put on. Like, why did they put Clemson?
I was just about to say that.
It was on ABC.
I guess because the ACC network, kind of?
No, it was on ABC, which ESPN owns. Like, Disney
owns
the whole thing.
It was on ESPN.
Why would they put the Clemson game on? That's better than this.
It was.
Who else did LSU beat? They had to beat somebody.
They won a few.
I mean, La Tech.
I've seen that game on highlight 5 million times. That's the one Myers likes to watch. I can't even think.
South Carolina is kind of ugly, but it wasn't a bad game.
It was ugly.
Arkansas was closer, so I guess that's the closest victory by the football team that you got to put on. But I'll just go ahead and make this proclamation at 2:30 p.m. on Thursday, so that means all times are Eastern. So they're currently airing the LSU Oklahoma SEC tournament baseball win. I'm not going to tune into that once I get off the air. What's left? Gymnastics versus Alabama, probably going to miss that. Women's basketball against Texas Tech, that's during dinner time and bath time. And I'm probably not going to watch the Will Wade and Lane Kiffin press conferences or the softball game at 10 p.m. tonight. So
you're done.
I think you've maxed me out on LSU's exposure. There was a time where I might flip over and catch a highlight here or there. This ain't doing it.
This ain't it, man.
This time next year, when I fill a 15-minute segment with the slate, I'm going to need to see some dramatic victories over some good teams by somebody.
I don't want to go down the bad memory lane, but what do we feel like the wheels actually fell off of the football season? Was it the Vanderbilt loss? That's when the wheels started to be like, okay, this is
the wheels falling off. That was
because A&M, we was already
you
leaking.
lost to Ole Miss, but you were on the road. They score a point.
Vandy was your second loss in 3 weeks.
In the second half, when you couldn't stop Pavia at all, had no answer for Pavia, and then they were running the ball down your throat.
Yep.
It was kind of like, okay, well, this is not good.
This is not good. So
And
that's the wheels fall off. That's we agree. Vandy.
And I will look. Let me tell you. I talk about those memories fading in my head they're just not there, and I can't remember the Arkansas game. That A&M game, that's burned in my brain. Burned just right on the forehead.
Yeah,
frontal lobe.
This is a laugh to keep from crying segment. I'm looking at the schedule. We beat Western Kentucky 13-10.
I'm aware.
Oh yeah,
I'm aware.
13-10.
It was.
Free Brian Kelly.
At that point, you had a backup quarterback, no offensive line. You couldn't run the ball, and nobody trusted you to throw it deep. So LSU's offense was the quarterback kind of runs around. You throw a lot of screens. Hand it to Harlan Berry. Maybe he gets a yard. Yeah. It was just atrocious.
Xavier Thomas, trade that screen, throw the ball up to him. I don't
remember LSU being in jeopardy of losing that game.
No, they weren't.
No. It was the Harlan Berry fumble at the end. That's why the score looks like that.
Yeah, that's right.
After the free my boy Brian Kelly, and then Harlan Berry fumbled the ball.
Free my boy BK.
Yep.
Sick move.
It was 13-3 with 10 minutes to go in that game. Western Kentucky scored with a minute left.
Yep.
Yeah, it was the Harlan Berry fumble. That's right.
Nasty work.
God, just get me out of here. Do something better this year, please. Unfortunately, I've got a little bit. It's not that bad news. It's minorly bad in the next segment, and we'll do something more positive to end the show. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. Want a new car? FabryChevrolet.com. You can search the entire inventory of new cars. If you want to search by make and model, you can do it. You want to search by price, you can do it. You can set the floor, you can set the ceiling for your price. I don't know why you would set a floor, just put it all the way at the bottom, right? you're going to give me something for that cheap, that's great. But they've got a very helpful meter to kind of move that there. And if you want to get a pre-owned car, they've got those as well. You can search by make and model. You can search by mileage. You can search by price. And it's just such a user-friendly website. We're in a clicks-based world right now. Most people start their shopping, no matter what they're buying, online. You can do that at FabryChevrolet.com. So if you're in the market for a vehicle right now, just go look and see what they've got. And then make that short drive to St. Francisville on Highway 61 and go see them. They got unbelievable customer service, great service after the sale, and you won't regret it. The Fabry family's been in business 35 years in this town for a reason, because they take care of the people of this community. It's Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You can find that entire inventory at FabryChevrolet.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
I know a lot of y'all have kiddos that are in travel ball. It feels like it's year-round. If you're looking for an opportunity to get some extra work in with your youth baseball player, youth softball player, check out Marucci. Go by and see them at Marucci. They've got the Hitter's House, which is available to you 24/7 if you're a member. You get key card access, and you go in, you take some swings. You can get some pitching work done. It's a phenomenal facility right here in Baton Rouge, and it's really convenient because of the fact that you've got access all the time. So if you want to pop in at lunch, or if the kids are at home during the day, maybe it's a high schooler who's got the ability to drive and can head over there. You want to go right after work, after business hours, they're open. You just use your key card, get in, take some swings. It's a really, really great opportunity to continue to work on your child's baseball or softball swing and keep that polished during a long, long season. You can also go take a tour and see how they became the official bat of Major League Baseball. It's really cool. Maybe an awesome opportunity to get your kids out of the house during the summer and go do something cool in Baton Rouge. It's all there at Marucci. They're online at MarucciSports.com, MarucciSports.com. All right, a legacy basketball player that you think of as a football player is not coming to LSU. The second of Marcus Spears' two children has spurned his alma mater to head to their home state school, the Texas Longhorns. Marcus Spears Jr., one of the top prep basketball players in the nation, 6'9", swing guy, great athlete, and can hoop like his dad could, is headed to Texas. LSU never really made inroads in this one. Texas kind of always felt like they were in the lead. Certainly Alabama had an opportunity there. But Marcus Spears Jr., the number one prospect in the class of 2027, is going to reclassify, commit to Texas for the upcoming college basketball season. So he is going to be a Longhorn. Again, like, it sounds bad because you all know Marcus Spears. You remember Marcus Spears playing. He's big media personality. You know how much he loves LSU. That's got to give LSU the inside track here, right? And it just didn't feel like that was ever going to be the case. I can't imagine Matt McMahon was going to even get his foot in that door significantly. It's right. I mean, I just don't see how that was going to be in play. And then Will Wade just got this job. And yeah, I'm sure he had some conversations, but it's late in the game to try to make that happen. So it did not. And Marcus Spears Jr. is going to head to Texas. So not a thing I'm going to spend a whole segment on here, but certainly disappointing news for LSU basketball to have a legacy that prominent that does not come to school with you. And look, he's a Dallas kid. Marcus, after he played for the Cowboys, settled in the Dallas area, certainly spends a lot of time in Baton Rouge. Family is from Baton Rouge. Heat is from Baton Rouge. But these are Texas kiddos he's got. And Texas got a really good volleyball program and probably has some cash to throw around on the basketball side too. Not that Marcus Spears Jr. and his family's hurting for cash, but look, it never hurts to get an offer like that. So Marcus Spears Jr. headed to be a Longhorn in Austin. I was snooping around the internet during the show to kind of look around and saw this story on the NIL clearinghouse and the accepted terms in NIL and the rejected terms in NIL, because I think there was probably a lot of skepticism at how the clearinghouse run by Deloitte was going to be able to enforce whether or not a deal was fair market value. Because, like, how do you know? Isn't the market what someone's willing to pay, right? If a car dealership is willing to pay $800,000 for a 30-minute appearance, like, Isn't that the market? So how do you reject that? Like, you on its face saying we're going to look at every single deal north of whatever it was, $800. It sounds like a good idea that every time you're going to get $1,000 up to $50,000, $2 million, like we're going to take a look at this and make sure that this is market value. Like that sounds good on its face, but can you enforce it? And we now have numbers. The College Sports Commission released its 61-day numbers, and they rejected nearly $90 million worth of NIL deals over the course of a year. $90 million. Now, they approved $355 million. So let me run some quick numbers on this because I saw this during the break. But 355 plus the 90. So they refused 90 out of the 445 million. This is great radio, I know, but 20%. So 1 out of 5 NIL deals, they nixed, which is interesting to me. And I read the quote, and it said the most common reasons for a deal not to clear are: 1, the deal is not for a valid business purpose, as that term is defined by the settlement and NCAA bylaws. 2, the compensation is not at rates and terms commensurate with similarly situated student athletes. Or 3, the deal does not include direction activation of the student athlete's NIL. Oh, so you're not actually using it. Okay. So it's that's interesting that I guess they just ran it off of comparisons. And if you're going to make an Instagram post and you have this many followers, and we're clearing deals where these athletes have this many followers, and we don't think that lines up, no. And so it doesn't say whether or not they came back and said you can do it for this amount, or they just said no. I don't know the answer to that. But there are more quotes in this that say, without prejudging any particular deal, the CSC has serious concerns about some of the deal terms being contemplated and the consequences of those deals for the parties involved, the memo said. So I am a little bit stunned that they were able to decline 20% of the deals worth $90 million, and I didn't hear about a lot of lawsuits in the process. Because at this point, what do we do when you don't get your way? Like, we are so litigious in that way. If you don't get your way, bam, we're lawyered up. Here comes litigation. And you see that all over the country with eligibility, with breaking the rules. We'll just sue. We'll get eligible. And I haven't heard a lot of lawsuits about these NIL deals that have been rejected to the team. I mean, that's not insignificant. 20% is not insignificant, and $90 million is not insignificant. So the last quote here in the piece, which is from the CSC's CEO, Brian Seeley, says, "This process shows the system is working as intended. A decision we made was challenged, and a neutral arbiter assessed the facts to inform the final decision." I didn't hear about that. But it sounds like it's not necessarily in front of a judge. There's just an arbiter. And that means we're going to decide here. We're going to decide here. We're not meeting in the middle. So I didn't hear about the May arbitration case. It was 18 Nebraska football players. It was with Playfly, who LSU is contracted with. And it got denied, and they won. So perhaps, I say perhaps, I certainly don't say assuredly, this is 1 year of data. Perhaps there are some guardrails here that are working. And I've always said this, and I said it early in the show with our first segment of the day, which go back and listen to that, the news of the day. The Matt Moscona broke at LouisianaSports.net is that LSU is in TAF is bringing in the top 40 boosters to the governor's mansion in early August to propose something that they believe will change the fabric and landscape of collegiate athletics. I don't know what it is, but we obtained that information, and Matt reported at LouisianaSports.net. But I said in that segment, and I've said many times, I have no problem with student and athletes getting paid. And if you want to just call them college athletes getting paid and you want to ditch the student part, I have no problem with that. But I do think that it's unsustainable, which is not to say it's flat wrong. It's to say I just don't think we can keep up what we're doing. LSU, I'm assuming, and I feel okay about my assumption, cannot keep floating $40 million football rosters every single year. You're telling me over 4 years you're going to spend $160 million on football players? It just seems like a lot. Like, it's not mine, and maybe somebody's got that cash. It just seems like a lot. So if you can put guardrails on this, make sure that student athletes are compensated fairly. If you've got a lot of followers on Instagram and can make a post, or you do have enough weight behind your name that you can go and do a national Gatorade deal, or you can do a national Nike deal. Great. If you can make a shoe, awesome. But if you're just getting paid as a 17-year-old high schooler to show up, make 9 catches, be the third-team wide receiver, and then transfer to the next place, like, I'm not telling you it's wrong. I'm telling you it's not sustainable. They're not going to keep paying for that, I don't think. So this is interesting that there are some guardrails that are working in front of an arbitration hearing. I didn't know that. I didn't hear about any of this. But they have finally released it after a year. So we'll see. It's just a time where I'm comfortable reacting. I just don't have a proactive mind in all this because I don't work in economics. So hopefully LSU's got a awesome idea that just sends revenue flying down the tracks. But what's going on right now is they're just trying to keep things between the buoys, and it sounds like they're doing a decent job of it, at least from that perspective. All right, we got one segment left. We'll come back and close it out.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. They're online at FABT.com. That's FABT.com. Started up in 1910, and they've been rocking and rolling in Southeast Louisiana for 116 years. They're your local bank. The people that work at First American Bank and Trust are local. When you call your bank at First American Bank and Trust, you are getting someone in Southeast Louisiana. You're not a line item for somebody in San Francisco, somebody in Chicago. You're dealing with someone in your community. So if you're dealing with a commercial loan that you're trying to get approved, if you're dealing with a personal loan you're trying to get approved, wouldn't you rather deal with somebody in your community? Wouldn't you rather deal with somebody down the street, somebody that goes to church with you on Sundays or that your kids play baseball with on the weekends? It's the local way to do business. And don't think local means small. Local means they're here. 25 locations means they're not small. They've got the resources to help you with that commercial loan. It's First American Bank and Trust. They're online at FABT.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Grilling season right now, obviously. You're heading back out to that whatever it is that you're cooking your grill on, your beef on. And you want to have the best, right? Doing burgers, doing steaks. And sometimes you go back there and you get something done. It's just not working for you. Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef is what you need to have. Sean has just kind of perfected his process over there at Sagrera Farms. Every cow is a 3-year journey. The genetic process is one they take extreme caution and care with. It's meticulous, and it produces consistent results. And those cows are raised on grass, finished on grain, and they're prime almost every single time. And they know what they're getting because they have vets that come out and do the ultrasounds. And if you're looking at the intramuscular fat score on beef, if it's below 4, you're talking about select. That's the bottom of the barrel. 4 to 8, you're talking about your choice. That's 60%. Prime is 8, 9, and above. There are cows on the farm right now that are 14, 16, 19, 20. Folks at Supper Club got the best cow they've ever gotten from Sean Sagrera last month. That's the kind of stuff he's putting out. So if you want to talk to him about filling your freezer with a full cow, half a cow, a quarter, splitting it amongst some people in your life, call him at 719-1723. He's in the 225 area code. That's 719-1723. Say, hey, I'm tired of this overpriced, poor quality beef. I want the best of the best. I want Sagrera Farms premium Angus beef. And Sean is happy to talk you through the process and help you out with it. He's just north of Baton Rouge. It's a game changer. It has been for the Palmers, and it can be for you as well. Sagrera Farms, they bring you our Thursday shows every single week. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so Yahoo Sports is going to change the game as they are now offering a new season-long college football game featuring a completely new format. Is designated for the new modern era. So the game is going to feature the top 4 conferences, the Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, and ACC, plus Notre Dame, with a condensed player pool. Players are expected, it's supposed to be more balanced, and it's going to, so, you know, in regular fantasy football, they do defense. Well, for this one, there's offense now. So instead of having a defensive feature, there's an offensive feature. So college football, fantasy football, take it or leave it.
Can Sorsby play?
You can bet on it.
I'm gonna leave it. It's too crazy. Like, teams score 60 points in college. You gotta have the guy who's playing the FCS team, right?
Yeah,
because they're gonna score.
You
60.
want Texas Tech whole roster?
Yeah, you do. I'll be honest. I didn't hear most of the stuff you said. The Cubs brought in Ole Miss's Friday night starter from like 8 years ago, and he immediately lost the game for us.
Oh, he lost the game for you. I'm about to say, you said y'all needed help pitching wise.
Yeah,
so, yeah, you're right.
Not that guy.
Yeah, not him. Well, in other news, speaking of the Cubs, got a couple of them here for you. So Pete Armstrong
is awesome.
Is the league's first 2020 player this season. He also joined Sammy Sosa, Ryan Sandberg as the only Cubs player to hit the benchmark twice. So is Pete Armstrong the face of the Cubs? Take it or leave it.
Take it.
I'll
Absolutely
take it.
not even close. He is freaking awesome.
That's your guy now?
All the pitchers are hurt, and the offense has been really underwhelming. He's been sensational. Unfortunately, the bullpen was atrocious today, and we're probably going to lose, and I'm pretty sad about it.
But when I was reading today, I think y'all have won 17 out of 20-some games recently.
They've been really good of late. It's probably smoke and mirrors, but they were up 2-1 in the 8th inning, and Rollison came in and just immediately gave up a double. And they challenged the plate, but he was clearly safe, and we're going to lose to the Orioles, and I'm sad.
All right, so Christian Pulisic is under fire from all angles from U.S. soccer legends after his poor performance in the 2026 World Cup and being taken out of the game after the 4-1 beatdown from Belgium. So after the loss, Pulisic drew some backlash from comments stating, why he left the game. I just twisted my ankle, sprained my ankle. It's frustrating to the end like that, of course, but now I get time to rest, so hopefully I'll be okay. And Carly Lloyd, World Cup champion on the women's side, she said she didn't appreciate the statement. You rest when your playing career is over, period. Landon Donovan also chimed in about Pulisic's basically having like a lackadaisical approach to after this beatdown. So is Pulisic a scapegoat, or are these valid takes? Take it or leave it.
So 2 things on this that I found out. There's reports from the AP, not like Joe Blogger, from the AP that he broke his ankle. He had stress fractures in his ankle. Okay. So he got hurt. The quote is just really dumb. It's a dumb thing to say. I don't think he was being malicious.
Yeah.
He was literally saying, we don't have any games coming up, so I will rest and I will be better. But what you can't say that. What you have to say is, I'm gutted that I couldn't be out there with my team. I tried to go after the slide tackle. I gave it an effort, and I was hurting my team by being out there. I hate it. I wanted to be there, but I was hurting my team. We all know. We're all aware the World Cup's over and you can go rest. Like, you don't need to say that. But he wasn't being malicious in his intent. It was a foolish thing to say. It's by someone who doesn't have a lot of media savvy is what you got there.
Why are you not a PR person for somebody? You always got the best PR answers.
It's easy. It's not hard. It's just not a hard thing to do. But people suck at it. This is what it is.
People suck at it. And you got what you just said was, if he literally just said that, it would.
Yeah, no one would say anything.
Yeah, nobody would say
I hated
anything.
it. It was awful. I hated coming out of the game. I sat on the bench. I was miserable the whole time. I couldn't help my guys, but I tried, and it hurt afterward. He didn't do anything wrong, but he said something we all knew. Everybody's well aware when you don't have a game to play, you can rest.
Yeah.
We got it. But we don't want to hear it.
That's it for Christian Pulisic and Take It or Leave It.
All right, that's it for Take It or Leave It here on this Thursday. I'm good to be back in the swing of things here after vacation for a week's time. Got one more show to go tomorrow. We'll talk to Preston Guy about some football recruiting. I'm not sure what to make of all this Brewster stuff. It feels like the internet's just bored and kind of drumming stuff up, but we'll see. I'll talk to Preston about it. It'll be our final look at the Major League Baseball draft before a big 2 days for the LSU baseball program. So looking forward to tomorrow's show. We opened today with Matt Moscona's report at LouisianaSports.net about a potentially revolutionary proposal from LSU to its most lucrative donors. So we'll talk. We talked about that at the top. You can go back and listen to that. Also did our in-depth chart on guard. We talked a little Saints with Luke Johnson as well. You can find that at Hunt on Saints. Musso is going to drive you home next. We're back tomorrow for a Friday edition. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
GoTro's Outdoor Power. GoTro's Outdoor Power. Incredible deals going on in the month of July at GoTro's Outdoor Power. So get on by and see them. 2 locations. Airline Highway in Baton Rouge or in Gonzales. In July. Got some time, but go by and see them. 20% off MSRP for Hustler commercial mowers. 20% off MSRP. Plus, they've got 0% financing for 48 months. You talk about 0% for 48 months and 20% off. That's about as good as you're going to find. They got the biggest Hustler inventory in the state of Louisiana. They are local. The GoTro family's been at this for 22 years. So if you're looking for a zero-turn mower to manage your commercial property, to manage a big property that you have, get on by and see them. Those 2 locations, Airline Highway in Baton Rouge and in Gonzales. You can find them online at GoTrosOnline.com. It's GoTro's Outdoor Power.